Hi everybody. If you are amongst the ones who really want to hit the board really hard of an instrument which is made up of wood, then this is the right place for you. My name is Nitin and I am a cajon player. So let me show you a demonstration of few of my few videos that I uploaded on YouTube. If you want to be pro in playing this musical instrument which is made up of wood and is from Peru, then we need to spend some time together. Now on this session, the very first video that we have is for the basics of cajon. So now we are going to spend some time looking at a few elements of cajon. In order to play a cajon, you need to know three major hits. The very first one that you need to master is the bass sound. Second thing that you need to master, or second one that you need to master, is the snare sound. Third thing that you need to master is either you call them a hi-hat sound or the sizzle sound or the treble. Alright everybody, so now let's take a quick dive into how this instrument is played. Now we need to see there are a few aspects that you need to understand about this instrument. The very first thing is that if you look at my hand, it's connected to the top of this cajon like this, and then you go down. Now this section is the lows of cajon, and when you pull it up a little and you leave your fingers here, this section is your snare, and then you further go up to half of the fingers. This section is the hi-hats or the highs section. So we've divided them lows, snare, which is the bass, snare and highs. Now we need to combine all of them and play. So for the beginners, now again, what you need to understand, if you see my posture, obviously you cannot see that in this video right now, but I'm sitting all straight. And when you sit all straight and you see my hands reach here, now this section is the bass section. You really don't need to go down here and then play the bass. And the trick of the trade is, if you meet your friends in childhood, we did something called the high five. Now that is what is the trick. You only and only need to contact or come in contact with cajon to play the bass in a way that you are going to high five it to a cajon. So you don't need to leave it here. You need to hit and let go. Hit and let go. And I would say that there are many people who are left-handed or they are right-handed. It all depends. Now, irrespective of which hand you play with the bass, you need to start practicing. Practice to be able to build the sound. Now this will come with time, because initially you'll be able to hit like this, and there are many people who create a cup, or they create a cup and then they try to hit. That's not what you need to do. You need to let the hand free, open the fingers a little bit and then hit it. That's when you will get. You don't need to really hit it hard. You don't need to hit it hard. See, I'm not moving my hands too much, or rather my arms. I'm not moving my arms too much, but the sound that you're able to hear is quite punchy. Second thing that you need to do is don't hit the fingers directly. Keep your fingers a little far away and hit this side or this section of your hand here, and let your fingers go slightly on its own, go hit and come back. Now it'll happen automatically. Just leave your fingers a little free and see. Because the point is why I kept these shadows here and I'm not I'm not fading them away, is because I want you to see that the shadow of my hand, it goes away and comes back, which means I'm hitting and coming back, hitting and coming back. You can't just hit and let it be here. So you need to make sure that you hit it with this section here, and it'll sound much better as compared to if I play directly like this with my fingers closed. You can feel the difference, you can hear the difference in the sound. So a combination of now let's talk about the top section, how we need to play. Now this is what you need to play in, again, a similar fashion. You can either hit, but if you hit it like this, what will happen after some time? You'll get some pain here in your arms because of continuous movement. You need to let it free, and again, this section of the hand, or rather the fingers, you need to hit this section here and let this come back. Now it sounds like a brush, right? Now if you look at it, the smoothness is what is required. Now this instrument doesn't need you or asks you to put in a lot of force, because it's designed in a fashion that this wood, it's called the tapa, and it has behind it has a aeromatized hole which actually produces sound. So it's designed in a fashion that it's going to build that sound automatically. You need to be extremely smooth in terms of hitting. So if you see, I'm not really hitting that hard. If I let my hands here, now this is what you need to do. So the very first exercise for all of you to begin is low, snare, and highs. No, snares, highs. Lows, snares, high. Low, snare, high. I would want you to practice this with both your hands. Now you don't need to you don't need to increase the speed. As much you would keep it slow, it'll get better quickly. So now this is all what you need to practice. Once you're done with it, you can then shuffle between. So you can shuffle between anything. So you can play with right, you can play the bass, then you can play the highs, then you can go back and play the treble, or rather the snare with this. But you don't need to do it right now. What you need to do is keep doing that till the time you don't hear a sound that kind of still to an extent matches the sound that you're able to hear here. So that's the first exercise. I can assure you that if you spend some time on these lessons, you would be able to play the cajon in not more than 2 to 3 months. And when I say 2 to 3 months, I'm talking about play it nicely. At a beginner level, I'm sure will be able to kind of play it within a month's time. But it all completely depends on how much you practice. So if I were to play this cajon the way I play it, just to demonstrate, just to make you hear the sound. If you hear, just play it in slow motion if you want to, you'll hear every time I hit, I let my hand go. Hit and let it go. Hit and let it go. Irrespective of where I'm hitting, and I'm making sure my fingers are not closed, otherwise it'll sound like this. Now if you see, if you can hear the sound, this is much broad in terms of the bass. This is much thin. The sound is wide when you open your hands, or rather your fingers. Your sound spreads, but if you keep them intact, then it doesn't. So this was the basics for you. And I would recommend you spend a lot of time with your cajon, and then we will slowly and gradually talk about how you can play the sides. You can use the footwork. Obviously, right now the mic is catching all the sneezing. That'll go away. And there's a way to plug in microphones or adjust the microphone's volume if in case you want drum covers. Then for that I'll definitely come up with a separate video. So till then, enjoy yourself. So this was the first session for all of you. If you are able to understand, then you need to spend time practicing, because practice makes the man perfect. So if you have not been able to understand any of them, you can reach out to me directly or through the channel. So for any questions, write in the comment and I'll be happy to answer them. Till then, keep practicing and stay safe.